Hey YouTube, thank you for watching. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Ruger P90 and 45 automatic. It's an all-metal pistol, single stack magazine, holds 7+1 in the chamber, and it's a double action, single action with a decocker that's also the safety. Now they discontinued this model. They don't make it anymore. You can still find them online. You can actually find them new in the box online still. I found this one online. You can see I got a pretty good deal for it, but you can see here it's got some holster wear here on the slide. I can polish that out though, but it's not too big of a deal for me because I bought it to shoot, not to look pretty. But anyways, I figured I'd go ahead and do this video just in case you happen to be looking online and kind of want to get a feel for it, and you really can't walk into a gun store and expect to get your hands on one to be able to feel it. They don't make it anymore, so they're a little bit harder to find locally, but hopefully this will help you out if you're considering buying one. Hopefully this will give you the information you need to make a good decision on it. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the gun. Like I said, it is a single stack, holds 7+1. Now the first thing that I noticed about this gun, it being a single stack, look how wide it is. Well, that's a pretty wide profile for being a single stack. Now if you look here at this 1911 I have, you can see the difference in them. Look how much wider the Ruger is than the 1911. I mean, it's quite a bit of difference. They're both 45. They're both single stack. This Ruger here is quite a bit wider than the 1911. And from a concealed carry standpoint, that's kind of a deal breaker for me. I mean, if I'm going to carry this wide of a gun, I'm going to want it to be double stacked so I have the extra rounds in my magazine. If I'm going to be going to single stack, like when I carry a 1911, if I'm going to carry a single stack, have less rounds, I'm going to want it to be a slimmer profile, something I can conceal a little bit better than this big and bulky of a gun. But it all depends on what you're going to be using it for. But as far as if you're buying it to carry concealed, I probably wouldn't recommend it just because of the width of it. And I think if you're going to carry this wide of a gun, you should have it in double stack and get the extra rounds in there. But the trigger on it, it's a single action, double action. You can see here, single action pull. It's got a little bit of take up in it, but then it breaks pretty clean like that. One more time, a little bit of play, and then it breaks. Double action is pretty long, which is any double action trigger like that. It's not too bad. And also too, here you'll notice, I don't know if y'all can see that real well, but look how wide of a trigger that is. I kind of like that actually. Helps you be a little bit more accurate with it. But it's got a pretty wide trigger on it. Thought I'd point that out to you. Now the safeties here, they are ambidextrous. I like that. You can see both sides. I like that. That's a plus. And one thing I don't like about it though is on this one you have to flip it up to put it on the fire and flip it down to put it on safety. I'm gotten so used to shooting my 1911s that I'm just used to taking it out of the holster and then just putting down to fire, rather than having to flip it up. It's a little bit awkward for me. Could just be that I'm used to flipping down instead of flipping up. It just depends on what you're used to, but that's another drawback for me there. Now this is the safety is also the decocker. You can see here, just flip it down, puts it on safety and decocks it. And one thing interesting too about this is when it's on safety, you can pull the trigger and nothing happens. You can pull back the hammer and it keeps on falling. It won't stay back, and you can rack it, and that hammer won't stay back at all while it's on safety. Thought it was interesting. Figured I'd point that out to you. Now the slide release here, you can see it's pretty long and exaggerated. Pretty big slide release on this. I really don't care about that. I never use slide releases or slide lock levers, whatever you want to call them. And the reason for that being is I believe when you're doing a magazine, when you're changing out magazines or doing a reload or whatever, I believe it's best to always tap and then come over the, well, be in slide lock, to tap and then to come over the top and rack like that. And the reason for that being is in a critical situation, you're under stress, the adrenaline's pumping and everything, and you have a malfunction or something, your first instinct should be to tap and then rack it to clear that malfunction. And in that critical situation with the adrenaline pumping and all that, you're going to revert to how you train. So if you're doing this constantly, it's all muscle memory. If you're doing this constantly, tap and rack, it's just going to be second nature to you. When you get in that when you get in that situation, it's going to be instinct for you. Just tap and rack, and you'll do it without even noticing it. And I just believe that's the best way to train. That's how I train, and that's how I recommend it. And a lot of experts out there too recommend that method rather than relying on the slide release. And also in a critical situation, you may not, with all the adrenaline pumping and everything that's going on, you may not have that fine motor skill to just do that. You want to keep your movements real exaggerated and simple. But anyways, that's just my viewpoint on it, and some other people share that viewpoint as well. But anyways, that's my thoughts on it. Now the grips here, you can see I got some polymer grips on here, Ruger logo. A little bit of etching in them. There's no serrations here on the front. I kind of like having something there, and also on the back here. It just helps me get a better grip. There's nothing there, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal for me. The magazine release is a little bit longer, easy to get to, real easy to get to. I like that. It's not ambidextrous, but that's not too big of a deal. And also here on the mainspring, you have a little hole for a lanyard or something if you want to. Kind of like the earlier 1911s do. The sides here, you can see, try and get you a side picture. They are 3-dot white. Y'all see that? Not a whole lot of daylight in the sides, but in between them, but it's not bad. They are fixed, not adjustable. 3-dot white. And we'll go ahead and do a quick takedown of it real quick. It's pretty simple to take down. Over here you have this little button, and what you'll do is first you'll rack it back, and then down in here you're gonna want to push this down. You'll see that in there. Just push that down, and you'll release it. And then over here you can see there's a little slide takedown notch right there. And line it up right here. You can't really see it, so you got to kind of feel it, and you won't pull back on the slide hardly at all. Just a tiny bit, just a hair, and kind of push on it while you're doing it, and then you'll feel it right there. There it is, and you'll just pull the slide lock out, and your barrel will come all the way off, or your slide will. Now on this slide lock lever, slide release, whatever you want to call it. It won't come all the way out. There's a little spring in here, and there's a notch on this keeping it in place. On the 40 caliber version of this gun, it'll come all the way out. I think actually the 40 I have is a little bit newer model than this, so that could be the reason there. But so don't worry about taking this out. It won't come out unless you get in there and push that spring up and take it out. But anyways, and then to take it down the rest of the way, it's pretty simple. Just take out your recoil spring, and then your barrel comes right out. But not going to go into all that. It's pretty simple. But and to put it back together, it's just the same way you took it down. Rack it back, line up that takedown notch with your slide lock, pop it in. And the easiest way to get this back in place, I found, for me, is just take an empty magazine, pop it in there, and you're good to go. And that's pretty much it. Things I like about it, I like ambidextrous safeties. I like having that on there. It's an all metal frame. I prefer a metal frame gun. I think they feel better, more solid feeling to me. But that's why I like 1911 so much. They're all metal. But I just prefer an all metal pistol. And then also too, another thing I like is the wide trigger on it. I like that. It helps with my accuracy. And things I don't like about it, the safety's up to fire. I really wish it was down to fire. That's just what I'm used to. I'm comfortable with it. It's natural for me. And another thing, first thing I said was the width. I don't like how wide it is, but that's because I just feel that a single stack gun should be slim, a real slim profile on it. But It all depends on what you're using it for. Then also too, one other thing I don't like about it is there's no serrations on the slide anywhere. I like having either some serrations up here or back here, something to grip when you go to rack it. And also too, if you're coming back here to rack it, you got the safeties, the sides are all kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit uncomfortable for me. So I wish there was some serrations up here so I can get a better grip on it when I go to rack it. But anyways, that's my thoughts on it. I think that should about do it for this gun. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. But go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. And thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.